In Christmas 1914, in the middle of the fire of the First World War, the warring parties announced a ceasefire for a few hours, a truce that had only one cause: holding a football match between the warring parties on the occasion of the New Year, between England and Germany. However, in the following years, the superior leaders of these countries prevented the repetition of such an event. But that night, for a few hours, the football ball took the place of the war balls.
Suddenly red shirts flooding back, chance for Cristiano Ronaldo! 2-2! And Ronaldo becomes the first player to score at 4 different European Championship finals.
At the beginning of the formation of this sport in its present form, football was the most popular sport in the world. At first, politicians were against football, but what makes football today an exceptional phenomenon? There are economic, cultural and political uses of this popular sport.
Dante misses the pass into the feet of Vidal, then Thomas Muller, and it's in the back of the net from Robert Lewandowski, because that is what Robert Lewandowski does. And here they come again. Oh, superb goal from distance. Lewandowski for the hat-trick, off the post, Lewandowski again, and somehow he's put it in. Oh my word. Oh, they haven't got it clear, and the ball's in the back of the net again. Lewandowski goes through it again. Oh, he just can't do it. You just cannot be that good. Well, I don't know how many offers of marriage Robert Lewandowski's going to...
Politicians don't get over all this popularity easily, and they use this opportunity to achieve their goals. Even if they do not have a comprehensive understanding of this popular sport, all the things that politicians like can be found in the sport of football. Players who become unattainable stars for the young generation. Huge amounts of money are spent behind the doors of football managers and countless fans of this sport. Football is a mental experience for us. Football has become life itself. Ups and downs, joys and sorrows, and there are failures and victories. Exactly the same experience we have in our lives. But that makes the eyes of the world stare at it like this. Football means letting go of the future and the past and living in the present moment. We love football because we separate ourselves from the bitterness of real life for a few minutes. But it seems that these conditions have become favorable for the rich, have made a lot of money from this infatuation. In today's world, football is more than a sport for those who are interested in it, and a profitable market for the rich, and politicians do not ignore this unique event and try to make the popularity of football an important part of their puzzle game.
Taken away by Winks, Lanzini! Oh, it's glorious! Sensational hit! Sensational climax to a sensational game!
The oldest human activity in football can be found in the old Chinese writings. During the Han Dynasty in the 2nd century BC, they used to do this with the heads of the soldiers who lost the war. But the most important story is that this game spread in the 12th century in England. In those years, in addition to shooting, they sometimes played the game by punching the ball. This early form of football was much more violent than today's form of football. The current form of football started in England in 1863.
It was felt that Real Madrid represented fascist Spain of Franco, and regions like Catalonia, where the people felt they were oppressed and fought in the Spanish Civil War against Franco's. So the team came to represent Catalonia.
Football was the most collective experience that the Nazi Party in Germany wanted to use. Let's show its official power to the world. Two events were very important at that time: the 1936 Olympics and World Cup in 1934 and 1938. Hitler said in his speech at the opening of the Olympics, "A sport battle awakens the best human qualities. It does not separate competitors and unites them in understanding and respect. Therefore, the Olympic torch should never be extinguished." To consolidate its power, Germany needed to go to sports, especially the most important sport, football. In the 1936 Olympics, Germany was very interested in winning the championship in football, which was the most popular sport in the Olympics. 2 years later, a strange thing happened in friendly match between England and Germany. These two teams faced each other in 1938 at the Berlin Olympics Stadium. England wanted to show its goodwill to Hitler and Germany. For this reason, a few days before the match, a message came out from the office of the British Foreign Ministry asking the players of this country to give a Nazi Heil Hitler at the beginning of the game. A few months later, Hitler ordered the two German and Austrian teams to become one and to face rivals in the 1938 World Cup in France. This order was expensive for one person, Matthias Sindelar, known as the Paperman. He excused his age and did not play in the German team. The Nazis did not like this, so they became very sensitive to this player's behavior to retaliate. Sindelar himself gave this excuse to the Nazis a few months later. He was told not to score in a game against the German team. Not only did he score a goal, but he also rejoiced in front of the Nazi leaders. And a few weeks later, the world was surprised to hear a news. In 1939, at the age of 35, body of Matthias Sindelar was found in his apartment in the occupied city of Vienna, which had fallen into the hands of Nazi soldiers, dead and cold.
Ja. Det er jo fristende å gå for skuddet her, selvfølgelig. Her kommer Alsensen! Nei, men har du sett da? For en skåring av Emil Konradsen! Det er rein og skjær fotballkunst! Det er dette man har savnet!
In 1939, Germany began its advance in Europe and war to begin, a war that affected the fate of the people of the world for 6 years and left an ugly end in human memory. International competitions such as the World Cup were stopped until the end of the war, when the Soviet Union from the right wing and England from the left wing flooded the streets of Berlin. The world understood that the Nazis lost the game. Hitler fell.
Here's Papadopoulos, he goes down. Nothing given.
We talk about pure individual class.
Now was the beginning of the domination of the East and West blocs over the world, a competition that continued until 50 years later. European and Asian countries were tired of two world wars, destroyed cities and sad people who no longer had the strength to stand. In the meantime, America, which was geographically far from the war, showed its power to the world with the atomic bomb. Under the orders of Truman, he began to modernize the world. Football played an important role in the flow of American capital and culture to third world countries. In this era, with the spread of subculture, the social management of the people of the world had to change. Politics should also be separated from traditional ways, and in the meantime, football could be the best option. During the 20th century, with the spread of modernity, football spread around the world and gradually became a beloved pastime in countries. While the media played an important role in Truman's development plan, and the media had an important influence in the spread of football. Football entered the world of media the 60s, and the expansion of the media made its role in people's life bigger. The development of technology and launch of communication satellite made the 1917 World Cup games the first period in which live images were broadcast around the world.